Welcome to E-Padasala PG course for computer science students. Today we will be talking about challenges of embedded systems. So, when you are looking at challenges of embedded systems, we will be covering the embedded system development and what are all the challenges we will be facing it during the development and design, as well as how to optimize the design and production, and how we will be avoiding the problems as well as rectifying the problems in embedded system design and production. So, these are the major objectives we will be covering in this lecture. So, when you are looking at challenges in embedded system, usually we will think about the optimizing the design metrics and formalizing the system design. So, what I am trying to say here as design metrics is power dissipation, your physical size, your number of gates or what will be the hardwares we will be using it, and how we will be making the prototype and how we will be manufacturing these objects. So, these are the major issues when you are looking at your design metrics. So, when you are looking at the challenges, the first always we will be telling about what will be the product, the cost. Cost is the major challenge. That means, how much less we are providing the cost, then it will be very successful. And here the unit cost as well as NRE cost, these two comes into picture when you are looking at your challenges. And when you are looking at the other challenge, that will be the size. So, how much is the size we will be going to provide for that particular product, that also comes into picture. And the next is your performance of the system, how it performs, and the flexibility. So, flexibility in the sense how much flexible it is to adopt the upgradation and what will be the thing you wanted to incorporate inside it, all those things comes into picture. And time to market. So, how we will be fixing the deadline to produce and whether we will be reaching out that particular deadline or not, and time to prototype, how to make a prototype within the time limit. So, and how much correct it is, what will be the thing we have committed, whether we will be reaching it. The major thing is your safety. So, the cost, safety, these are all very important when you are looking at the design challenges. So, maybe when you are looking at the cost, I will be telling about two different costs. One is the unit cost and another one is the NRE cost. So, what we are trying to say about unit cost is the cost of the manufacturing for each copy. That means, if I wanted to produce a particular product, how much I will spend to produce one particular unit. So, that will be the unit cost. There will not be including your NRE cost. So, what here we are trying to say as NRE is non-recurring engineering cost. That means, when you wanted to design a particular product, the first time when you are designing it, how much we will be spending it, so that we will be making a product pakka. So, that the one time mandatory cost of designing the system. So, how to first we have to design it, then we have to produce it. So, these costs are very important when you are looking at a particular product design. So, as much as possible we have to reduce this particular cost, so that only we will be launching the product with a successful we will make it successful. So, that is the major aim when you are looking at a product. Next is your size. So, size in the sense here how much is the physical space it required by the system. I told you in the last class itself, maybe the embedded system is nothing but it is a product or a part of a product. So, when I am looking at a single product, individual product, it may require less space, or it will I can tell you it will be of a smaller size or it may be of a bigger size. So, based on the requirement I have to fix up, but usually people will look into smaller size. For example, if I am looking at TV remote, maybe I will be looking at a medium size, but when I am looking at AC remote, maybe I will be looking at a smaller size. Maybe if I am looking at a cell phone, I may always look at a smaller size, thin, and it should be very handy. The weight also should be very less. So, many factors comes into picture when I am designing a particular product with respect to size. So, the weight is also associated with this size. So, here if I am looking at a single product itself, I will be looking at it should have only a lesser weight as well as the size should be minimum. But when I am looking at this embedded system is a part of a larger system, then there will be much more limitation. For example, if I am looking at a car, we have so much of all the controls is based on embedded system. So, when I am looking at a car, you will be having a very less space to accommodate all those things. So, by the time they will be providing only a small area to accommodate a particular embedded system. So, by the time the size should be within that particular area only, it should not be more than that. The major difficulty is how we will be manufacturing or how we will be designing whatever be the product we wanted to do it within the size. That will be the major challenge when I am looking at any of the system, whether it is individually or it may be a part of a system. And when I am looking at a hardware and software. So, as I said, the embedded system is a combination of a hardware and software. So, I should find out when I am looking at the cost, I should find out how much is the hardware I need to give, how much is the software I have to give for that particular embedded system. You will be wondering where comes this hardware and software comes into picture in the cost. See, the hardware, if I am going ahead with more and more hardware, then the cost will be high. Then you can ask me why do not we reduce hardware. So, if I am reducing the hardware, the speed will be reduced. This is the major trade off between the cost and the hardware. That means, the when you are looking at how much is hardware and software part, how much I can provide a hardware, how much I can provide a software to this particular system, which gives you direct relationship between cost and the speed. So, if the hardware is more, the cost is also high, and if the software is more, the cost is less, but the speed is limited. So, why I am saying that if the software is more in the sense, because we have a hardware, I can write as much as possible software, I can put it inside it, but it will take when you are operating that particular device, it takes more time. So, that it works slow only, but if it is a hardware, the decision taken by the system is fast. So, it works very fast. And remember that not only the hardware, how much hardware and how much software is contributing towards cost, but what will be the processor I am selecting, that also comes into picture. So, if I am looking at a small toy, then I can go ahead with the 8051 microcontroller itself. That means, it is of a very less cost, maybe within 100 rupees. But if I wanted to have a real time processors, for example, if I wanted to have something like a rocket launcher, there I need to have the speed is very precision oriented. The speed should be very high, and it should be the operation should be precision oriented, maybe the braking control of a car or something else. So, where you need to have the speed is very important. By the time I should go for a high end processor. So, if the speed is high, then the processor should have a very high capability. If I am going ahead with high end processors, the rate is also going up. So, based on the application, you should decide what is the processor, what is the CPU I should select, and how much is the hardware I can provide and how much is the software I can provide. So, this plays a vital role before designing this embedded system itself. So, when I am looking at optimization, see, I can design anything, but I cannot make that particular system with that particular whatever be the design I have made it. Why? Because first I wanted to design a system, then once it works, then I wanted to optimize that particular design, then only this will give you a better performance, as well as some of the trade offs we wanted to avoid. All those things can be done only with optimization. Maybe in the next slides you will follow what I am trying to say as optimization. So, here according to the performance, the optimization should work. By the same time, the performance cannot be compromised. Whatever be the performance I am expecting it, the system should give that much good performance. And power dissipation. So, the power is also a major aspect. Power in the sense, how much is the battery power I am giving it, how much is the AC, whether it is AC power or DC power, almost all your embedded system requires only DC power, then we will be providing the battery power. If I am providing it as a battery power, I should know how much is the battery I have, I mean how much battery power I have to give it. So, then there comes how many batteries I will be putting over there. If I am putting more and more battery, people will not, maybe if it is a toy, if I am requiring more, I mean more number of batteries, then people will not buy that kind of toys. So, we have to think about all those things when I am looking at the power. Then the cost always the major criteria. If I am minimizing the cost, that cost should not affect my performance. So, that also the major things when I am looking at the design metrics of a system. Maybe the optimizing hardware. So, we will see in detail what I am trying to say optimization. Here optimizing the hardware. So, what I am trying to say, the optimizing the hardware is nothing but what is the hardware I am having in my hand. So, in an embedded system I will have a processor, I will have memory, maybe I will have a RAM, ROM, as well as I will have a flash memory and secondary memory in this system. How much is memory I needed? See, if I am programming it for only one purpose, I need to have only, I will not again program it. So, if this is the case, I need only the lesser memory. How much is needed? Only we can put that much, that is more than sufficient. And peripherals. So, I need to have certain interfaces where in the interfaces I should look at how much is the interface I am providing. So, when I am looking at how much I am providing the interfaces, where maybe 2 slots or 3 slots which will be provided for connecting the different peripherals. Maybe if I need only 1 or 2 peripherals, we can restrict the interfaces, providing the interfaces is 1 or 2. No need to provide more number of interfaces, and the devices which is internal and external to the system. See, if I am providing a device internal, it should be always powered. So, if I am if it is needed, I can provide it, or else I can provide that particular device through externally. So, ports, how many ports is needed, what should be the buses in the system, as well as how much is the power source or battery in the system. So, if I am looking at these are the hardwares, wherever I can reduce, wherever if it is needed I can provide, otherwise I can remove it. So, if I am reducing the hardware, the cost is also very less, the power requirement is also less. If I am looking at a standard product, if I am making it, I know very well what is the application for which I will be making it. So, if it is a dedicated application, I need only this many ports, or I need only this device, then I will use, I will provide only those things, no need to provide more than what required. So, that will minimize the hardware part, so that the cost is reduced. By the same time, because the hardware part is reduced, the battery the power requirement is also simultaneously reduced. So, when you are looking at the second major issue, if I told you the requirement of the power. So, if I am telling about requirement of power, where we will be saying that how much is how many number of batteries I will be putting it, what is the AC power, DC power I am providing for doing for working of this particular product. But now, the second problem is power dissipation. Whatever be the battery power I am providing it, as we know the energy will not be will not be going out, it has to be converted from one state to next state. So, if this is the case, if I am providing a power, this power is used and it will be dissipated as heat only. So, the power dissipation, when how much power I am giving it, that much heat the system will generate. That is the major drawback when I am looking at all my embedded systems, because it is an electronic system. If for example, if I am providing this certain power, the same power is getting dissipated as heat. If the heat is getting increased, the whatever be the electronic devices I will be having inside it, which will get affected. So, to dissipate the heat, I have to put a heat sink. If I am putting a heat sink, if it generates more heat, I need to put a heat sink. If I am putting a heat sink, then the system is become bulkier. We know very well the heat sink will dissipate the heat, but it will be of a heavy weight. So, if I am increasing the weight, then people will not support that kind of things. So, the power dissipation, the only thing is I can reduce the power requirement, which in turn reduces the power dissipation also. This is the only way I can cut it down the power. So, the heat the heat generated due to this power dissipation should be reduced. and second the physical size. Physical size in the sense when I am looking at the size, where comes the size increased is if I am having more and more hardware, then the size is getting increased. So, if I am having more and more software, I do not have that much physical size is increased, because I will have a memory where I will load or burn so many applications or so many codes inside it, that never increases the size. But when I am looking at hardware, as much as gates, as much as digital circuits I am providing it, which in turn increases the physical size and the area requirement as well as the weight. But this is a trade off between the speed as well as the weight and size. And the prototype, the next problematic thing is the prototype development and manufacturing cost. So, once before launching the product, I need to provide first a prototype. So, when I am developing it, I need to go through so many procedures, and I will be doing that particular model. So, once one particular model is ready, then I will be very comfort whether what way it has to be manufactured. Then I will be going ahead with manufacturing it. So, one time when I am doing it, I may spend more, but when I am manufacturing it, I will try to reduce the manufacturing cost. So, how much I can reduce the manufacturing cost, that should be the say, unless otherwise I am not reducing the manufacturing cost, the price tag price of the product is getting increased. If the price is going high and high, the competitor may give in lesser price, then people will go through that particular product. So, always I should cut it down the manufacturing cost. This is the major issue when I am looking at my embedded system design. Then as I told you, the power dissipation, that means the heat generation is power dissipated in the form of heat. So, it not only produces a heat, it also destroys the hardware side, that means the digital circuits, ICs. So, how to minimize, how to dissipate, how to remove the heat or how to minimize the heat generation, that is the major headache. So, if this is a case, I should know I should make it the clock rate should be reduced, that means the processor clock rate should be reduced. If I am for example, if I am running very fast, I will spend more energy. If I am running slow, I will not be spending that much energy. The same way here also, when the system is working with not very high speed, then the heat power dissipation is slightly reduced. So, I will look at if I am having a processor clock rate is less, then the energy power requirement as well as energy the heat generation has been reduced slightly. So, that way what will be the process speed I can provide, with that we can we can restrict what should be the speed we needed with that particular kind of processor. We should not go for a higher end processor. And operating volt reduction. So, whatever be the voltage I am providing it, if it requires only 12 volts, I should provide only 12 volts. I should not provide if it may work with 11 volt means I should provide 11 volts or 11.5 volts. So, if I should not provide more voltages. So, the operating voltage whichever is possible, we should cut it down and we should give a minimum voltage for working. So, that is nothing but your operating voltage reduction. And what are the units, maybe for example, cache, you can disable the cache whenever it is not used. So, disabling and controlling certain units when not needed is one method of saving the power during the program execution. So, your power dissipation is the same thing, it has been discussed over here. Disabling the caches when it is not required. So, the cache memory is disabled if I am not fetching data from it. Disconnect certain hardwares when particular portion of the program is executing. For example, IO units and display devices, timers, these are the things. If it is not in use, you can disconnect it and the code can be run. When it is needed, it can be enabled. So, that way you can power requirement is reduced, and maybe the controlling the brightness of the screen. Always we know very well will reduce the brightness of the screen, which in turn reduces the power requirement. So, these are some practical things which will be implemented for increasing the capability or reducing the power requirement. And always the small, as I told you, the product should be of a small size as well as it should be of a low weight, and the real time operation, as well as how much it is reactive when you are working, when I am doing a process, how much it is reactive to that particular process. This also considers when you are looking at your design consideration, I mean the challenges of your embedded systems. So, and the next thing is your deadline. So, deadline in the sense where if I am fixing up a system has to be produced, I mean many things has to be fixed as a deadline. First thing is the cost should be fixed. Maybe if I wanted to produce a product in 100 rupees, then I should fix up that as the deadline, and I should I should make the design according to that, I should manufacture according to that. So, the challenging is reducing cost by meeting the deadline of all process in the system while keeping the memory, the power dissipation, your processor clock rate and all those things. So, processor clock rate in the sense your processor capability, that means the lesser capability processor which will be of a lower price, maybe the power will be given less, as well as some of the units will be removed while it is not in use, I mean disabled when not in use, and what will be the system, I mean system requirement memory, how much is needed, only that much memory is provided, as well as so this kind of reduction and optimizing will help us to fix up with the deadlines, and you will be in a position to get along with whatever be the price we will be fixing up marginal, that can be accommodated with all these reductions. And when you are looking at flexibility, this is very important when you are launching a new product. So, here what is the flexibility is very what I can say here, flexibility is when I am making a particular product, I should be in a position to release updated version of that particular product also. That means, if I am finding something is not something is not accepted, or if the users are providing certain feedbacks, I should be in a position to correct that particular bugs in my system, and I should launch a new version for that particular product. So, I am adaptable to whatever be the requirement given by feedback given by the customers, as well as I should when I am doing a product itself, I should provide a space for further modifications. So, the different versions of the product for marketing is given. So, the different versions means definitely there will be some enhancement done with that particular product. So, the flexibility is given so that I can make a different versions. The ability to change the functionality of the system. If somebody says that the customer says that some of the things which they needed, then I should be in a position to incorporate that particular change without affecting much cost on the system's side. So, the ability to change the functionality of the system without incurring heavy NRE cost. So, that also comes into picture when I am looking at the flexibility, and upgradation as well as releasing the advanced version. So, I can say that when I am looking at a particular product, I can update based on the requirement, as well as I should release the same products in a different versions to the customers. So, these are the flexibilities. While I am producing a particular product itself, I should think about the upgradation to that particular product, whichever is needed, I should incorporate with that particular product. So, that is nothing but the flexibility. Then the reliability and safety, these are the major terms people will look at when I am launching a particular product. So, reliability that we know very well, usually we will be expecting only the reliable product. For example, if I am looking at a mixie, maybe the Smith mixie, if people are saying that Smith mixie, if you are buying a Smith mixie, it never fails. So, what it says, maybe a watch, particular brand of watch, if I am buying it, people will say that it never fails, you need not repair it. So, what it say that it says that that particular product is highly reliable, it never fails. That is the major word when I am looking at particular product. If you have been establishing a particular reliability is good with your product, then people will support always all your products. That is very important. So, while designing itself, I mean we should concentrate on producing a reliable products. Then testing, verification and validation is a challenge. That means, if I am producing a product, I should not it should be tested. It should be certified by certain agency, based on after getting a certificate only it will be validated. So, during your certification it will be verified, it will be validated, then only it can be given to the market. So, that certification tells you about it has been verified and validated. So, which in turn provides a reliability to the customers. So, testing, verification, validation is a very challengeable things when you are looking at your products. And the safety. Safety is very important when I am looking at a particular embedded system. Why? Because if if it fails, that is other factor, but it should not produce say injuries to the persons who will be using it. It should not burst, or fire should not occur, or it should not create any hazardous environment when it fails. So, that is very important looking at the challenges in the embedded system design. Testing. So, the testing is always, you know very well, if I am if we are making a particular product, always we will say that it never fails, but during testing it may fail. We should accept that it may fail, and you should identify where is the problem and it has to be rectified. So, testing is the most important part of embedded system design. That means, finding errors and to validate that the implemented product as per the specification and requirements given by the manufacturer, and it should be a reliable product. So, testing will say that whatever be the specification and commitments we have given, that should be satisfied, and we will be getting a reliable product. So, the specifications requirements should meet out and it should produce a reliable product. This has been certified only by testing that particular product. So, testing is very important, and it is very challenging towards the system development, but it is a major important thing when you are looking at any of the product. Verification. So, when you are looking at an embedded system, always ensure that whatever be the functions you have been assured while designing the product, it should be correctly implemented. We should not say we should say something means we should maintain that particular thing. So, that is what they are trying to say. So, whatever be the specifications you have provided along with the system, that should be correctly implemented with that particular system. That has to be verified, then only you will be in a position to accept that. So, the next important thing is, so all these things tells you about the product. So, when I am looking at the time is major thing. So, if I am saying that I wanted to release a product within a month, I should fix up how much is the time I can make it to make the first prototype, then how much is the time I can take to release it to the market. So, I should stick on to the time, so that I should be in a position to make the prototype, as well as if I am fixing up the product is released within a month, I should release it within the month. That is a commitment always people will expect from the manufacturer. So, maintainability. The thing is, once you have released that particular product, it should be maintainable. If something happens to that particular product, people should be in a position to fix it. That means, it should be repairable. So, all your problems should be rectified, and it has to be maintained by the service persons. We should provide that particular end also. So, the ability to modify the system after its initial release, as well as the correctness and as well as the safety should be maintained. So, some trained person should be there to modify, as well as it should be corrected, as well as the safety also should be maintained. Validation. To ensure that the system that has been created is as per the requirements agreed upon the analysis phase, and to ensure its quality. So, the quality should be assured, and it should be validated, and it should be certified. This is the main thing which will end the product evaluation. So, now we will be looking at, so with this we have gone through all the challenges which has been we will be incorporating with the embedded system design. So, now we will be looking at what are the things we have covered in this particular classes. We looked at different challenges in embedded system design, and we have explained the need for optimization of the design and production, and we discussed the importance of power utilization and minimization. So, these are the things which will be very important when you are looking at the design challenges in the embedded system. So, the references you can go ahead with your Embedded Systems by Raj Kamal, publication is Tata McGraw Hill Education. Thank you.